All right, so in this one, I just wanted to talk about some of the things we'll talk about next week. One of them that I'm really excited to show is to go a bit more in depth about recognition and then showing how that loop actually closes and saying, okay, once we have recognition and it gives us, so right now we're talking through a number of segments that we've kind of pre-planned out. And then recognition is going to go and it's going to give us the segments it found. And then the way our behind the scenes automation works is if our pre-planned segments match the number of detected segments, then it will do a bunch of the legwork of cropping the videos, trimming the videos, attaching the thumbnails, basically making it ready so that we can then upload them to LinkedIn, to Twitter, to YouTube throughout the week.
Right.
But I wanted to take a quick moment and kind of brainstorm about other things that we could do. One of the things I've been thinking about, we talked about a few weeks ago about a custom entity recognition model. I think that would be fun to run on some of the AWS services that we talk about a lot. And then we can build up a heat map and see, okay, how often do we mention EC2 or Lambda or something like that?
Yeah, I think that would be, I think there is a model for AWS services somewhere, but we should definitely take a look at it. I think we also discussed it last week. So yeah, I agree. Having that entity recognition for AWS services, or because that's the most pertinent one for these conversations, would be incredibly valuable.
And then the other one I was thinking, I really like your idea of using Selenium to make a StreamYard API. And then unless StreamYard you're listening and you don't want us to do that for some reason, then forget we said that. And I also wanted to make a, speaking of communications, I wanted to use DevFlows to then, whenever we post something onto social media channels, to have a Google Hangout channel that can be internal to the company, so that there's visibility internally that people know what the things that we're doing, and then they can reshare to their own networks.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. That would be pretty neat to have.
And that's a really straightforward dev flow, right? It's just taking an incoming webhook and then reshaping the data, making it nice, and sending it out to a Google Hangout channel. So
correct.
We'll post that next week for completeness. But I want to, anything else you can think of things we should try to do for next week for behind the scenes part 2?
So I would love a mechanism by which, especially when we do our section on AWS announcements, where we review those.
Yeah.
I wish because there's just so many of them. I mean, we spend a bunch of time kind of filtering through all of those announcements and picking maybe 5 or 6 that we can cover in a session. It'd be great to figure out a way to just click on those and have those, the links, the thumbnails, the stuff kind of show up in one place, or in our recording sheet that we use to reference all of this material.
Got it. Okay.
That'd be neat.
All right.
To have some way of doing that.
Got it. All right. Well, let's see what we can deliver on for next week. That'll be a lot of fun.
Awesome.
All right. Well, let's switch gears again. And I wanted to I cleaned up the DevSpaces demo repository, and I wanted to put that out there because it's ready for public use. So let's switch gears over to that. I'll take a quick break, and then we'll do that.
Public cloud costs going up and your AWS bill growing without the right cost controls? CloudFix saves you 10 to 20% on your AWS bill by focusing on AWS recommended fixes that are 100% safe with zero downtime and zero degradation in performance. The best part? With your approval, CloudFix finds and implements AWS fixes to help you run more efficiently. Visit cloudfix.com for a free savings assessment.